Welcome back to another episode of Shock Showdown. Today we have our first coil shock into the series. This is the Cane Creek double barrel inline coil with a progressive spring. This was very much recommended from a couple of people, especially with the camp field having a very linear frame at 17%. The progressive spring definitely does give it a little bit of poppiness to it. This one has all the adjustments, has low speed compression, low speed rebound, high speed compression. Even has a climb switch that doesn't lock out the damper but puts it in a stiffer setting, makes it a lot easier to climb, and then you just open it up, send her down. And if you forget to open it up, it doesn't completely lock it out. You still have the ability to use it, compress it. It's just going to be a lot stiffer on the way down. This shock is not the newest version. This is the previous generation. I did recently have it serviced, so it is up to date and ready to go. I have it set up currently with Cane Creek's recommended settings. This is what they call their natural feeling. I haven't had any complaints about it. If you've seen my build breakdown on my Canfield tilt, this is the shock that was on it when I did that video. Since then, I have changed a couple shocks, as you could imagine, and let's see how this goes. So as you can see, this is a coil shock, shock whiz, nowhere to go. Shock whiz is for air shocks. So this is going to be solely based on feel. I've ridden it with the Cane Creek recommended settings. I really do like it. I'm going to play around with it a little bit, see if I could feel anything that I want to adjust, but for the most part this shock is very, very neutral and very, very poppy. And I'll give you a little more on my thoughts as we go through it. So that was the conclusion of that round of testing. I am going to make some adjustments. I noticed that I could use a little bit more mid-stroke. This shock in general though, a lot of mid-stroke and end-stroke support, especially with that progressive spring. You can really dial in your legs to really see where your legs sit in that spring rate and where it starts ramping up, to what extent and how hard you want to push into it. When it comes to repeated hits, it does it really, really well. The only thing I'm really going to adjust in is I'm going to add a little bit, like about half a turn of high speed compression. I'm not going to touch the low speed. The low speed's good and the rebound feels really good. If anything, I might back it out half turn on the high speed and see how it feels. And then yeah, we're going to do the same loop. So now we're going to go down Legacy again, and then we're going to do our 2 laps of bent nickel. I'm still playing with the camera, figuring out good lighting settings. I know the lighting's not ideal. But I'm trying to make the best out of it, playing with the camera, learning as I go. So let's jump right into it. Going down Legacy. Nice. Nice. That felt really good. Nice. 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 And that's the end of Legacy. yeah. Woo! So that was the conclusion of another round of testing. I'm going to close it at that. I do think the shock is optimized exactly for what I like to do to it. It rides pretty well, does not bottom out often. It does bottom out if I take it off really big drops, which is expected, but off of like a foot and a half, stays good. A lot of mid-stroke support. One thing I will say about that combination of the shock and the progressive spring, you get a lot of that mid-stroke, and you get a lot of what feels almost like a bottom out. You know, this spring that I have is the 500 to 610. My recommendation for spring weight was about 475, so I just went to the nearest up, 500. Even then, super subtle off the top, goes over roots very easily. Very nice to get it, very easy to get it into its travel and get into that stroke. Goes over rocks, no problem. Repeated hits, no problem. I would say it's a very supportive shock. I used to be a coil shock person. I think as of recently, especially with the Ohlins and the other great shocks that we've had on this test, I think I'm figuring out that I'm more of an air shock person. But we're gonna have to see what other shocks are in line and see what I end up liking best. And at the end of the day, I want to see what goes fastest, so stay tuned. We're gonna end up going to Rock Creek, shooting these things down the mountain, seeing what goes down first or what gets me down there in one piece. As well as I want to say, I think I figured out the camera settings for, in general. I think I figured out a good basis for camera settings throughout this video, so I think the camera quality is going to go up. I have been working hard on the videos. I've been learning a lot, been trying to apply it as much as I can to the videos. Just doing my best to try to pull out a quality video every week or two and make great content. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what I could do better. Let me know what comparison, what you think is going to go head to head, what you guys think is going to win. It's all in the air right now.